had to include this as for advert purpose. All right, we were to make directory and see how we can go through directories using the command line. So the first thing I wrote here was to make a directory of institutions. So we'll do that first. I go to CMD. All right, let's go to desktop. So I don't know where desktop is. So now say, let's check the DIR. Let's see where desktop is. If it's here. Then we have desktop here. All right, let me type D and use, okay, that is it. CD desktop. We are inside the desktop now. So we are going to make a directory called institution.
Or what?
Institution.
Okay.
Now I would like to. Are you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So we created a directory called institution on the desktop. So if you see institution here. So now in that institution, we are going to create subdirectories called churches, schools, and government offices. So we are going to make another directory called churches. Make another one. No, not. Let me remove that one. So let me enter institution. CD institution. Now in institution, let's make a directory inside institution called churches. So now make another one called schools. Now make another one called government. Let's just call it government, not government decision. Next directory for government. So let's confirm if we have made that those directories. So under institution, if I go to my desktop and open it, You can see there are subdirectories inside. The institution becomes the parent directory. So we now have churches directory, government directory, schools directory, under institution. So, the next thing we say we should do is okay, we can remove the directory for institution. So because that's what we intend to do. First, we need to go back. Now go back. So we want to remove the directory for institution. So we have RMDIR institution. So if you want to remove the directory for institution, if there was nothing contained in institution, we can use RMDIR, remove directory. But since there are things inside, it's going to give us an error message telling us that the directory is not empty. It's not empty, which means you cannot remove it. There are other subdirectories inside. So for us to remove it with other subdirectories, we use remove directory /f. Then we now write institution. They now ask us, are you sure you want to remove directory? So we now write yes. Why? Which is why. And we press. And we can go back to our desktop, check if we have achieved that. And you can see there is no institution directory any longer here. So that's it. That's for change directory. So let's check another. Then we have cursor shortcuts. We add home key, takes cursor to the first character of command for editing. So if you check your desktop, there is a key called home key. It will direct you, like they write here, home. If you go to the command line and use the key home, it will take you to the first command. Example, we write a command like this. cd okay, let's go back so that we can have enough things to do. Okay, under an let's say we want to enter desktop. Okay, document. So we write here cd document backslash. Let's see what's under document. We have books under document. So supposing I want to go back to the first line of the code I wrote. I click home and it jumps to T. So that is what it means.
That's GT. The Bible is God.
So NE takes the last character of command. So somebody is talking to the video. So if you press end, going to beer books. So if we want to toggle left or right, we use the arrow key, the arrow left and arrow right. But if you had control toggle moves word by word, whereas normal toggle moves individually. per alphabet. But if you press Control and toggle, it moves by word. So we now have tab key. So like you see, you notice I've been using tab key to navigate inside the directory. So instead of typing the directory, once I just type my city, I'll use tab key. I can just type only the first letter so that I will control the list, the particular alphabet I want to go to. If I want to go to desktop, I can type D, then use tab key to control all the directories that starts with D. So that's just it. So now if I use directory tab key or CD tab key, I can view a directory, especially if I use this directory tab key. Instead of going into the directory at once using CD, I think there's a mistake there. So instead of going to the directory, I can't even edit on. Okay, I can't. So if I use directory tab key, then I will view the file rather than opening the file using change directory. So if I view through files, I'll know what's inside the file. So now, instead of going to this document or books, if I suspect that I downloaded something that is not proper, like in my downloads, I can just say the arrow downloads. So I can view everything inside my download. I've not, if you check, I've not gone into downloads. You still users and maybe. So I can see everything in my download. So I can now target the file that has problem. I can stay there and delete it by either removing the directory. In the case of a file, I delete the file here. So sometimes you do not need to go enter the directory using CD. You can use directory to view first. Then you can use the command remove directory or delete. Delete is for file. Then directory, you use remove. I think delete works with directory too. But remove does not work with files. So as we practice, you get to learn some of those intricacies in the command line. We actually need it for something else, so we will go in depth. We just do these basics. So this one is an advert, but we talked about absolute file paths. A typical example is that if I want to switch, let me clear screen. If I want to switch into another program called not users, if in C, we have lots of programs inside. If I want to change my file path, I can just write cd and use the command C and backslash. I can now check other parts that are inside the C drive. Have you seen that? Documents and settings, HP, and everything. New previous system. Yes, this system was in the computer before I use this Windows 10. So let me see what's inside previous system. So I can now do dir. You can see it has switched from C backslash anedi to C previous system. So that's how you change paths. So instead of doing going back to now go and look for a particular directory in the drive, you can just change the path of that drive and go to the path you want to check and check whatever is inside. So we can likewise go back to the user, cd u, I click u, c, okay, sorry, cdc backslash go back, u, okay, users. I'm inside users now. So I can now cd and edit. Then you can now press play. All right. I hope we are all there. Then
Yeah.
you see you can switch paths using the command line. So we had a class work to do here. If all of us are with our computer, you can launch your browser. You can launch your browser, not necessarily Chrome. Any of the browser you are using the command line. So first of all, you can check where the browser is. Like in my own case, I may not know. So I can just type something like cd, or type Chrome. And /search /p. Let me see where Chrome is located. Which means Chrome is not here in an image. So I have to go back to the dot and check for Chrome again. Let me use not CD. Let me use dir. dir arrow.
Of those things, mine is not showing. While
Use
you were,
dir, not CD.
I tried dir. It says volume in drive C has no label. Volume serial number is so.
Where did you check? Is it drive C or another part?
I then
Are you
tried
a
drive.
user?
That's when I did dir. Yeah, just the same thing that it has given you.
Okay. Maybe it's not there in users. So go back to the root, which is the drive C. It's searching my own. See it here. It's searching. It's not allowing me to type. It's searching. Once it shows like this, it's searching. So now,
If I even have Chrome, because
check whatever you have. We're stopping there. But let's get this last one first. So it's searching mine to see where it is located. So we now have the first directory of Chrome is in Google. So we have users and the app data local Google. So I can stop my search here in order to get into that. So now I can do Control C and leave that search. So knowing fully well that if I get to Google, I can get to Chrome. So I can
Let
now
me check
say
because I think
user
that
CD and edit, then backslash. Then I know that app data is the next backslash. I know that Google is the next J. No responding the one. Let me enter app data first. So in app data, we have Google. Still not CD Google.
and Eddie mine is not showing.
Yeah, sorry about that. Still not finding my Google. Okay, local, not Google. Me say I wasn't even looking. CD local before Google. Local backslash Google backslash Chrome. So then backslash, let's say Chrome application, Chrome application, backslash, no way, we can't go there. Chrome, no application. I think it's a Chrome application. Let's see what's inside that Chrome application. Okay, we have Chrome execute inside. So we can now type Chrome. If you notice, I'm not going to use, in this last one, I'm not going to use cd.dir. I'll just type chrome.exe, which is the this is application I'm looking for. So when I press enter, it's going to launch Chrome on my desktop. So if I had known the path, I would have just gone directly. Since I didn't know the path, I have to now search through the command line and launch the Chrome. It's loading. Have you
My,
seen Chrome has come up? I hope you have seen it.
yeah.
All right. So my Chrome has come up here. All right, let's press screen. Let's go back to the dot back slash. Sorry, is it forward slash dot forward slash dot forward slash dot cd dot back to an edit. All right, we are able to do all this. I've gotten to this point where we entered through paths, we made directory and deleted directory. We checked the shortcuts. So enter the absolute paths of the computer. So we are now, okay, there is another thing here. Control C ends a running program. If you notice, when my search was still going on, and I didn't need it again because I saw something that could have guided me to what I wanted. So I can easily end the search by pressing Ctrl C. Then I now stop that program from running. Continue. So now you can go and do similar thing by playing music using the command line on your computer. So you don't need to go to the listen to type music and search the graphic user interface. Using the command line, navigate, go to the music and play. The same thing with video. So we will talk about drives tomorrow.
Okay.
After drives, we will now talk about this one, which has to do with color background, echoing into a directory and transfer. So then Mr. Oboho is going to take file attributes, creating, appending, and deleting files. That will be next week. So I think we are rounded for today. Please, I need contribution or questions as the case may be.
Please, maybe I missed that bit. Why do we use the dot dot dot? I noticed we used it at some
Where?
before you
Hello?
cleared your before you cleared your stuff, before you did the CLS, you
Okay.
did dash dot dot dash cd dot dot.
Okay, cd dot dot front slash dot dot forward slash dot dot forward dot dot. I did that because I didn't want to do cd dot dot and do cd dot dot again and do cd dot dot again. So if I can count that I need up to going back 3 times. So I need to do cd dot dot forward slash dot dot forward slash dot dot. That's 3. If
Okay,
I want to go times, so that is the same thing.
okay, I now understand that part.
That is it. So we can now round up last year. Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
And say the prayer so we do.
in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Father, we thank you for an opportunity that you give unto us today to learn. Thank you for enabling and giving the strength to pull us through. We pray that even as we come back tomorrow, it will be better and we'll also assimilate faster. And by the end of the month, January, we must have gone far in this study. In Jesus' mighty name.
Amen. Thank you.
Okay. Good night.
Good night, sir.